So isn't that a risk? Isn't that like a really dangerous place to be in if you're just trying to get people to wrap you in a blanket and accept this reality you build for yourself when even the data supports that this is actually still a great time to be a loan officer?
Yeah, but it's natural. Like it's normal for somebody to feel that way. The hard work is getting out of that mentality. And that's where, if you listen to David Goggins' newest book,
I haven't listened to it. No. How do you know I listen to books?
oh, it's just a guess. I mean,
I do. Yeah, I haven't listened to it, but I mean, he's an animal, so I'll definitely check it out.
we need to be listening to stuff like that, the encouraging stuff and turning off all the stuff that's garbage. Like I've stopped looking at the news and I try to never look at the news, but if you swipe left to look at the weather, right below it on my iPhone is the news. And every now and again, I'm like, huh. And I'm like, I think one time I've clicked on something that's benefited me. Like every other time, I'm like, oh, everything sucks. And it's not healthy.
I wasted half a day, I think it was Monday, because I read some ad or some article about the USD crashing, basically this massive change in like US is going to be turned into Venezuela, And so I went down a rabbit hole. I'm like literally talking to everybody on my team. Hey, have you heard anything about this? And checking in with like my friends who are in the, in the market pretty heavily. And it may be, and finally, one of my buddies who owns this really very cool, it's a company that they don't manage funds. He built a software subscription service where people can like follow how he trades and they just
Yeah.
pay to be a part of his subscription, and he trades his own money and he doesn't take anybody else's money. But he's invested, he's got millions in the marketplace and does really well. And people that follow him, they, do really well too. And he's like, no, it's hype,
Yeah.
He had some other things to say that it's not completely hype, but it's like, it's not worth the time that you're stressing right now about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's very dangerous out there.
There's a mass communication theory on kind of an influencer theory, right? So there's these things, there's opinion leaders. And I'll never forget, I had a mass communications class in college. It's funny that college actually, you do learn some things. And I had a mass comm class and they showed us this thing about opinion leaders. Like when you want to go get your car worked on, this is before the internet. So the internet had just come out. This is 1997. And they're talking about opinion leaders. Like if you want to get your car fixed, you go talk to one of your car guys, right? Everybody knows a guy. Well, that person is an opinion leader who has the power to change the opinion of a ton of people, right? So you have media and then you have opinion leaders, which are the people that we trust in our lives when something happens. So if I'm going to go buy, my brother-in-law knows a ton about cars. And so I still do this. I can go on the internet or ask AI, but like I go to Steve and I'm like, hey, dude, what do you think about this car? And he has the power to influence, right? So if the media says something, we need people in our lives. Like for me, it's Matt Graham. I reach out to Matt Graham. I'm like, dude, is this real? Like, what's going on? Dak, who runs all of my finance stuff, I go to Dak on stuff. I'm like, where's the market going and what's happening right now? And if I have those two guys, I don't need the media because they all are like, that's when I learned about compliance. Like when I started reading, one of the things I love the most about reading it is most of the media is wrong. I don't listen to the media. I don't read the articles. I read the laws. And so the media will pick up one little thing and be like, look what's going on. And it's like, that's actually not true. If you read the law, you know that that's not true. Or people will say, oh yeah, this is fine. We ran it by our attorney. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. Your attorney isn't there to tell you it's right or wrong. They're there to tell you what your risk is of making a decision. Your company may have gone, okay, we're going to take the risk. Especially right now, companies are doing stupid things that they're all going to pay for later. LO comp, loan originator compensation is completely out of control. And most are, many people are doing it wrong. And they're like, well, our attorney said it's fine. And it's like, but you didn't look at an opinion leader. You paid somebody to give you an opinion that you wanted, and to tell you what your risk profile was on that opinion. And that's why I read the laws. And so if I can help people because I run them, then I don't have to worry about people getting locked in on something the media said. And as long as we have opinion leaders we trust, then you don't have to worry about that in every decision that you.
Is there a business or do you guys offer a service where like a company could come to you and say like, we're paying you, we don't want any preconceived opinions of how our LO comp is or how our IT security policies are, or about how our, tell us where we suck and what we need to change, what's risky. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want a $5 million fine. Is that a service that you know about?
Yeah, we actually send everything over to First Line Compliance is a good company. My buddy Josh Weinberg over there, they do reviews of people's stuff and like tell them where their biggest issues might be. So anything, we try to stay away from anything legal just because it could be damaging for me. I've got insurance on it, but still I don't want to ever give somebody an opinion that can come back. But yeah, that's where I'd go. And then normally for me, it happens like I'll be at a conference and somebody will pull me aside and go, hey, let me ask you a quick question about this. And that's how I find all the illegal stuff. They're like, this is what my company's doing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like LO comp is a loan officer problem, right? If you're getting paid illegally, you pay 3 times all of the money, which most loan officers I know in 2023 don't have 3 times what they made last year or the year before that. So you don't want to pay that fine.